Y'all see I got my little vegetables growing. Planting seeds, literally. Got me some peppers. Some peppers and some carrots growing. I'm gonna drop some onions at the end of the week. But peace, assalamu alaikum. Hotel, praise God. What's up? What's happening? Or whatever it is that you subscribe to. How y'all doing this morning? Let me get myself right. I'll be right back. Yeah, so in this story, I'm gonna talk about how the gang members used to plant negative seeds in the new guys, the new fish that come to the prison, especially if they was young. So I'm gonna have to share a backstory about the Jukes. Now y'all done heard me talk about the Jukes before. If you're new to the channel, you have to go back and go back in the search bar. But Jukes was an offset of the GDs. Now I know some people who still affiliated, they're gonna be like, dang bro, you telling all the business, man. Everybody know. That ain't no secret. Everybody know the business. The officers know, the police know. It's on the internet. But you know, I experienced it firsthand. This ain't something I got off the internet. But so the Jukes was started by, I've been trying to remember this dude's name. I kind of touched on it in a couple of videos, but I cannot remember this dude's name. But he dead now, and I got a chance to be around him. When I told y'all I was messing with the female officer, he was at that facility, damn near dead in a wheelchair. Say he had AIDS, but I mean, he a legend though. He a legend. If I can think of his, I just cannot think of his name. But anyway, him and another cat started the Jukes, and then the Jukes became thugs, and then the thugs became mob, and I don't know what it is now because it's been down there 20 years since I've been in prison. But when I got to prison, the dude, he had already been there like 20 something years. But like I said, he was a legend from New Orleans. And so everybody from New Orleans that came to prison in Mississippi, I mean, they automatically had the rite of passage, if that makes sense. Because this dude started this, and everybody, and even though New Orleans back then, New Orleans didn't have no gangs. They was ripping wards. You know, I'm like an hour from New Orleans, where I'm from. So, and then I got people like that, so I kind of knew the culture. But they didn't have no gangs back then. They was hoods and wards. But you know, they got it now, the Crips and Blood. It done changed now, I guess, because of the rap music. But so the guys who came to prison in Mississippi and they was from New Orleans, they automatically had rank because they was gonna be Juke. And like I said, the dude started this. He had already been locked up like 20 years before I even came. And then it was these two more other cats. I got a chance to do some time around them. One of them was named Goldmouth. He was from New Orleans, and I can't remember the other dude's name. But he was claiming he was from New Orleans, but I don't think he was from New Orleans. I think him and Goldmouth were charged probably. They caught their charge in Meridian, Mississippi. They unalived somebody. But I don't think dude was from New Orleans because he just didn't have that swag. He ain't had that accent. So I just think he was just using that, saying he from New Orleans because he was Goldmouth Charles' partner. And like I said, dude had started this gang. So the Juke is the offset of the GDs, and what the Jukes was, they were the ones who carried out the violation. And then they became assassins and hitmen. I mean, they really were. If that number get pulled, they had numbers. All the members had a number, and then when it's time to smash somebody or poke somebody, they'll pull the head, whoever the head over that prison, they'll pull a number, and if your number come up, you gotta be the one to carry out the mission. And they were really doing that. But anyway, so, you know, y'all already know I'm a spiritual person, so it's a spiritual dynamic to me. You know, me being still now and just thinking about it. The Jukes, or they would call themselves the Thugs at the time. And when they in the zone and they deep, it's gonna always be some bullshit. I promise God. And everybody that's on here that's been locked up. Now, I ain't talking about nowhere else but Mississippi. That's all I know. I never been, well, I got locked up in Texas, but I ain't go to prison in Texas. But I never been to prison nowhere else, but I'm talking about Mississippi. If you been locked up in Mississippi, in the Mississippi State Penitentiary, you know what I'm talking about. There's always gonna be something when it comes to this. But anyway, so, you know, when new inmates come in, you know, people looking out the window and they can tell if an inmate's scared. You know, you could tell if the inmate been there before. I mean, you could just tell. And then when police tripping. And then when the military police gonna play, you know, you could tell like, okay, I'm gonna shoot at him, or I'm gonna shoot at him. You know how it go. So everybody standing in the window looking at the new inmates, and people that had been, you know, locked up before, that have been locked up with somebody that's on the zone before, you know, they hollering at each other through the window or whatever. So when they come through the door, you gonna have the gangsters on one side, Vice Lords, Crips, if you got some Crips on the zone. And most definitely the Jukes. So this particular day, this young guy, he was 16, he came in. His name was Lil Man. Lil Man was from the Delta. I can't remember exactly what town he was from, but Lil Man was from the Delta. Young dude, man, talking about, remind me of myself when I first came in. At this time, I had been in prison probably about 3 years. I'm in Unit 30, I'm in Parchman. I'm in Parchman at this time. And he came in, I mean, he wasn't looking scared, but I guess it was just the innocence on his face. You know what I mean? So to make a long story short, so whoever came in that wasn't affiliated, you know, they was gonna plant these seeds into the guy or to the guys and try to get them to, you know, join the gang or whatnot. And so, you know, after a couple weeks, Lil Man was on the zone. He had been talking to one of the Jukes named Bam Bam. Now Bam Bam was from I think Bam Bam was from around the Hazelhurst area. I really can't remember. But Bam Bam, he was real black. And you know, Bam Bam thought he was Tupac. He was real black, he had long hair though. And you know, he was always you know, he was always trying to manipulate people with the Bible, and you know, he did a whole lot of reading and trying to correlate everything to Tupac. And I used to do it too, I ain't gonna lie. Because, you know, Tupac was my guy, but that's another story. But yeah, Bam Bam thought he was Tupac. But anyway, Bam Bam, he was a juke. So I seen Lil Man talking to Bam Bam all the time. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he planting them seeds. He gonna get bro to become a juke. Now I really can't remember that you had to become because Lil Man wasn't nothing. I can't remember if you had to become a GD first and then become a juke, or you can. I really can't remember how it went, but I know them guys from New Orleans, when they came in, you know, they was automatically juke. But so Bam Bam and Goldmouth, he in 30 at this time, and his charge partner. Goldmouth on the zone with me. I mean, Goldmouth, you know, Goldmouth used to rap, so that was our relationship. And, you know, even though I already heard about him, he had a reputation for, you know, poking people. He got the unalive charge or whatever, but, you know, I ain't really worried about that. You know, me and Goldmouth, we just rapping. Now, his charge partner, he was across the hall on A zone. Me and Goldmouth was on B zone. So anyway, so Lil Man had been on the zone for a while. And in some kind of way, like I said, I really can't remember exactly how it went, but he became a juke. And I told y'all, when you become a juke, they gonna give you a number, and when it's time to smash somebody, or when it's time to do any crash out mission, if your number pulled in, you gotta do it. I mean, I guess the benefits to that is you'll get some more rank, like once you do it and you go to the hole, because you going to the hole. And you come out, you get more rank, and you know, you'll be able to call whatever. So one day, another GD, I think they said he got caught messing with a boy, he had got caught messing with a boy in another camp. And he came from 29, and so it wasn't no phones in the system back then. And so you always had the kites to follow you. And for those who don't know what a kite is, that's, you know, just a letter from another inmate to another camp, you know, letting them know, like, you know, dude, he got caught messing with the boy, and he caught out, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I'm BD, so I ain't plugged in, but you know, I could be nosy if I want to. So after everything happened, I found out what happened. But anyway, so the kite followed him when he came on the zone. You know, the GDs, they ain't letting him know that he in trouble. You know, they you know, shaking his hand like, what up, bro? You know, how they do the little handshake or whatever. And I think he was on the zone for about 3 days. So I guess Goldmouth and his charge partner, I'm gonna just call him Rat Man, because he looked like a little rat. I'm gonna just call him Rat Man. And me and Rat Man, we did some more time together too. I got a couple more stories about Rat Man. He really was a fucking, he really was he was using that for protection. Now, I don't think he really like I said, I don't think he was from New Orleans. He was just using that as a cover, like, you know, because I'm a juke. I want to, you know, I'm from New Orleans. Because, you know, everybody had a certain way they looked at them New Orleans dudes. Some dudes, you know, some of them were just scared of them because of their reputation or whatever. But anyway, so I guess Goldmouth and Rat Man, they made the call. So we were coming back from the chai hall one day, and it's hot. It's summertime. I'm talking about that 10 be popping. Now let me go to a commercial break, if I may. If you've never been to the penitentiary, bro, in Mississippi, I don't know about nowhere else. Now, some facilities I went to, the private facilities, you know, they had central air where they'll turn the air on. You know what I mean? And it'd be cool. It really be too cold. But in Parchman, ain't no air. Only thing you got is your fan. And your fan is blowing hot air. Unit 30, you are in a tin shed. It's like they had us in a barn, like we cattle, for real. And those who been, they know what I'm talking about. And I promise you, in the summertime, that pen be popping. You can hear it, pop, pop, pop. You can hear that pen popping because it's so goddamn hot. But anyway, so we come back from chow. I think there was a pancake and sausage day. You know, sometimes, I think every 2 weeks, I really can't remember, they'll cook breakfast for dinner, and that's what we had this particular day. So we coming back to the zone. You know, everybody loud. I'm on my rack. I'm reading. You know, I used to sit on my rack. I'm probably like 18, 19 at the time. I used to sit on my rack, and I'd be reading for real, but I'd be watching. I'd be observing. I had been in prison like 2-3 years at this time, and I promise you, I had my observation game mastered. Like, I knew who was gonna do what. So, you know, me being spiritual and observant like I am, I'm knowing there's something in the air. Cause I see the GDs, they whistling. I see Goldmouth, he's standing in the back folded up. And so they have an OD in the back. I guess now at this time, it was probably like 5 jukes on his own. So I guess the jukes went on and let the regular standing members know, you know, what's about to happen. And cause the dude who finna get the work, he ain't even in the OD. He just sitting on his rack looking crazy. And let me go to a commercial break if I may. Now, if you know you in some trouble, bro, you know you in this lifestyle, and you know you in some trouble, why are you just sitting on your rack? You already caught out one time, you might well catch out again. You know what I mean? And that's another thing in prison, like, people pride in their ego being in the way. Like, bro, you finna get seriously hurt, could get seriously hurt, but you wanna sit on your rack because your pride in the way. You don't wanna leave the zone. But you done already did it one time anyway. So I guess they run it down to the standing minimum what's finna happen. And so Lil Man, you know, he get the bouncing around, he take his shirt off. So I'm already knowing they done pulled Lil Man number. He gotta go handle the business. So I see Lil Man, he walking with a knife. You know, everybody else kind of spread out just watching. And he walking with a knife. Now, how Unit 30 was set up, you got a wall in the middle, you got a wall on the side, you got a wall on this side. And against the wall in the middle, you got racks going that way. Then you got racks against the window. So you got aisles you can walk through. They pretty wide. But anyway, they spread out. So Lil Man, he walking up with the knife. And like he finna go stab dude. And, you know, you can tell he's scared to death, bro. Like, just thinking about it now, like, man, that man was so scared. And Lil Man walked right past the man and didn't do nothing. It ain't funny, but it's funny. Like, you shouldn't even got yourself involved in this anyway. But he walked right past him. So, you know, Goldmouth, he folding his arm, he looking. Like, everybody looking, they trying to figure out what happened. So everybody went to the back. And so I'm guessing. And then, you know, I found out after it went down that Lil Man was like, you know, he can't do it. You know, he ain't got the heart to do it. He can't stomach it. And guess what they did? Now, they ain't have to pull no numbers in this situation because this like a what you call it? This like a damn, I can't even think of the word. This like a at the moment thing. You know what I mean? Like, at that moment, it gotta be dealt with. Ain't no paperwork, ain't no investigation. We ain't gotta go holler at nobody how. It's on the zone. We gotta deal with it right now. So they formed the circle, and guess what they did? They beat Lil Man up, stabbed Lil Man, put him in that blender, and sent him out that door. Until the next time, peace.